The insurance goal provided into the empty net by Eller. Here's the Ovi chance. Sherry turns away from Eberle. 9 seconds left. Through center and on the go. Ovechkin has it in neutral towards the empty cage. He scores again. Alex Ovechkin one closer to 800. 796th goal for Alex Ovechkin. You on the Ovi chant, and he just makes it look casual, runs over to Burakovsky, a former teammate, and pots it. 3 empty netters the last 2 games. The first line was dominant, deserving that Ovi gets a goal here tonight against Seattle.
What the puck is going on?
All right, this is What the Puck is Going On. We are live from the Virginia Beach studios in Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. And we are here to talk all things hockey with you on this Monday night. I got my levels cranked up a little bit, so let me get those down just a hair. I am Stephen Murray. I am your guest host for the evening. Your usual host, Dave Metzger, is on location at the Christmas tree lot, but we do have him on phone. Dave, what's going on, man?
Good evening, sir.
All right, yeah. So we got a good hockey line. We have a lot of good games. Not a ton of games, but some really interesting matchups for sure. So we're going to get into all of that. Dave's out on location, so we'll go ahead and we'll hold down the fort in the and take the lead here in the studios, and we'll get everyone caught up on everything here in the NHL. So what we like to do first off is kind of go through the standings, see where we're at on things since we last left you, and we'll reflect a little bit and set the stage for tonight and all things going forward. So if we look at the Eastern Division here, New Jersey still sits on top. They have a 7-point lead over Carolina. New Jersey with just 5 losses on the year, 21-5-1, just that 1 overtime loss as well. So that's pretty impressive as well. Pittsburgh is right there in 3rd place. They are at 36 points. They're actually surging. Winners of 5 in a row are the Penguins. So they're catching a little bit of fire. And if you went ahead and grabbed one of those Penguin tickets a couple weeks ago when we told you that would be about the right time to take them because they were getting a really good price, then you might be pretty happy with the results that you're getting right now. And then in the Metro, we have the Islanders and the Rangers. Rangers, winners of 3 in a row, too. So they're trying to turn things around in what has been somewhat of a mediocre season for them. And there are our Capitals, winners of 4 in a row. And that clip, of course, to open the show was Alexander Ovechkin, who has pumped in more empty net goals this week, nephew Dave, than anyone I've ever seen in my life in one season, maybe. And he squeezed them all in here in a week. So that clip, courtesy of courtesy of NBC Sports Washington. Ovechkin leads us off at the top of the show, and the Caps there are winners of 4 in a row. Philadelphia stumbling a bit, but Columbus has won 2 in a row as they're the last place team in the division. They're trying to right their ship on the season. They sit at 10-5-2 overall. Over in the Atlantic, Boston, they remain hot. They're 7-2-1, and their last 10, they lost. Who they lose to, Dave? Colorado the other night. Did they just lose to Arizona? What did I just see weird with them?
Oh, you know what, Steve? You're absolutely right. It was I believe it was a overtime loss to Arizona.
Yeah, they lost to Arizona. That's what I thought I saw. The Christmas slumber there.
Because I remember, I believe, actually, you know what, Steve? I need to double check that because I saw a lot of clips and I did some research on that. It may have been with just a couple seconds left in regulation or just a couple seconds left in overtime that Arizona buried one and ended up winning that game. So it was kind of a shocker to everybody because, like I just said, there wasn't hardly any time left, and they're in the right place at the right time, and voila, you beat the Boston Bruins. So kudos to them.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that goal does come late in the box score for the Coyotes, and they win in overtime 4-3 on Friday night. Now, Boston did rebound yesterday with the win over Vegas. So they have righted the ship a little bit after that just a weird loss. They've done so well go down to Arizona and to lose in that small Coliseum there. That's hockey, Dave. That's why we play all these games, right?
That's right. That's absolutely right. And it's worth noting that is, I believe, an Arizona State facility that holds about 5,000 people.
Right. Okay, so hey, we get the top teams in the Atlantic are hot here, so Boston better not stumble too bad against some of these poor teams. Toronto 18-5-6 now overall. They have not lost in regulation anyway. They've lost twice in overtime, but they've not lost in regulation in their last 10, winners of 3 in a row. Also, Tampa Bay 7-3 overall in their last 10. So they're trying to hang around as well. Toronto, how about this? Just trails Boston by 3 points now in that division. Tampa Bay is 10 points to the bottom of Boston in that respect. And there's Detroit still lurking around right there with 32 points. They're 13-8-6 overall, 5-3-2 in their last 10. And after that, we got a bunch of mediocre hockey with Florida, Montreal, Buffalo, and Ottawa rounding out that division. In the Central, over in the West, Winnipeg now is your division leader by tiebreaker scenario. But they do have the percentage points ahead of the Dallas Stars now. Both of them have 37 points, but Winnipeg, by percentage points, is now the first place team. They've gone 7-3 in their last 10. Dallas now 5-2-3 in their last 10. Colorado, with their injuries, just like we thought, Dave, catching up with them a little bit, 14-10-2, and they're just 4-5-1 here in their last 10 games. But they trail both Winnipeg and Dallas by 7 points. There's Minnesota. They've been playing much better hockey, 7-3 overall in their last 10. How about Nashville, 6-3-1 over their last 10? In fact, even though they lost 2 in a row, Nashville is going to be a favorite on the road at the Blues tonight, who they lead by a point in the Central Division. 26 points for Nashville, 25 for the Blues. And then there you go, Arizona. We just talked about them. 3-4-3 in their last 10. So maybe playing a little bit better. Winners of 2 in a row. And really just 9-13-4 overall. Arizona's going to exceed their point total preseason-wise. I would think if they keep up with this pace. Chicago is the embarrassment now, 7-15-4, 1-8-1 in their last 10, and they have lost now 3 in a row. Over in the Pacific, your leader is Vegas. They are 6 points ahead of Seattle, 5-5 overall for Vegas in their last 10. The Kraken, 7-3 overall, although they had a tough loss there against the Caps over the weekend. They rebound nicely, though, with a win at Carolina. I did see that yesterday. So good win for Seattle down there in Carolina. The Kings, they've leveled off a little bit, 4-3-3 in their last 10, 15-11-5 overall. Edmonton, they've won 2 in a row, 6-4 overall, but they're trying to get a little bit better, and they've been pumping in more goals, at least on their end. I see. I've been following their games a little bit more, Dave. I feel like the Oilers are starting to click on the offense there with McDavid and Draisaitl. Calgary still not impressing us like they should be doing. 4-4-2 in their last 10. They're just 13-11-4 on the season, and they are 11 points back of Vegas. After that, it falls off. Vancouver, San Jose, and Anaheim round out the rest of the Pacific. So what's sticking out to you, Dave, right there in the standings that we went over?
So, yeah, it's getting pretty interesting. I think what I like is the battle for 1 and 2 right now in the Central. Steve, I think Colorado is doing exactly what we thought they were going to do in terms of what we've been talking about the last few weeks. And what I mean by that is, there's still a lot of time, but I think somebody else is going to win this division this year. And I think, with the amount of injuries that they have at the moment, they're just happy with, sliding them to a playoff spot, because all you got to do is get in and then anything can happen. So I think that's kind of the deal. Like I said, we've talked quite a bit about that with Colorado. Still a very good team, but if you look, they're 7 points out of two teams that are playing pretty well right now. I know the Capitals took it to Winnipeg last night, but that's just going to happen. That's going to happen to every team. They drop a game like that. So I don't think they're super worried about that. So I'm really intrigued by this 1 and 2 battle. I think I like Dallas a little bit more, Steve, but they are tied in the points right now. So let's keep an eye on that. We're going to put a little asterisk next to that and follow that along for the season and see what happens there. And I tell you what, I'm starting to think as we jump into the Pacific real quick, Steve, I think I like this Seattle team.
Yeah,
I think I really do.
They're starting to grow on me. Burakovsky, we got to love him as the Caps faithful. We got to root for that guy out there.
Right.
But yeah, Seattle playing very nice, especially if they can help the Capitals out by beating teams like Carolina along the way there, right? I mean, go ahead and get the competition out of the way if you can. But let me go back to your Winnipeg and Dallas thoughts for a second. I got to give us some high fives on that. I think we were kind of right on target for those two teams from the get-go. And we said it, man, watch out for Winnipeg. I mean, they're a nice little team. They're kind of flirting around down there, and they've been nothing but consistent this whole entire season. 89 goals scored. They've only given up 69, so they're a plus 20 on the year. And Dallas is a plus 24 as well. Dallas with a real good matchup that we'll talk about tonight as they are in Pittsburgh to face the Penguins here in about 45 minutes. So that's like we said last week, if you're not watching NHL and you want something to tune in for entertainment sports wise, you can't really grasp the NBA. You're not kind of having it with college basketball right now, and then also with college football. There is no college football, so you got to find something. There you go, NHL hockey. And before your Monday night football game tonight, go ahead and tune in the Penguins and the Stars, as that's going to be one of several key matchups that will be happening tonight. Dave, I think let's go ahead and get to our penalty box segment. I know you texted me with a couple of teams you thought are worthy of the penalty box to go into it this week. I almost want to throw ourselves in the penalty box if we're not taking the futures that we said that we need to be taking on Dallas and Winnipeg, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe we do belong in the box right now, Steve.
Let's go ahead and cue up our referee sounder. And I think Dave has a couple candidates there for the penalty box. I might have one as well.
Guys. Mike, come on. You can't do that. Dallas probably number 10. 2 minutes for 82. Tampa, tripping.
All right, Dave, who do you want to throw in there?
So Steve, I think my top pick, after I texted you, I was kind of looking around, trying to get ready to bring the most accurate product we can to everybody watching and or listening. And I think for me, Steve, and I'll see what you think, but I think it has to be at this point in time for me the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, and we threw them in there last week. We said, watch out. They got a tough schedule of games in the week ahead last week. I think they played both of the New York teams. Colorado maybe was on there, and also I think Vegas was in there too. Maybe I can't remember exactly who they played, but they had 4 tough opponents.
Right, and so Steve, if you look, we always talk about the last 10 games, but so as we go to the penalty box, let's switch over to the last 5 games, and if you look at that for St. Louis, they're 1-4 with losses to Colorado, Winnipeg, New York, and Pittsburgh. Now, while that is a tough schedule for them, I will admit that. they've been on a little bit of a skid before then. You know, they started to pick things up, and I'm like, okay, the Blues are going to start doing, you know, kind of what I thought they would do. But no, now they're back skidding again. So I think one other team we could put in there would be the Anaheim Ducks. If we you know, we want to call a double penalty here. We got two guys in the box.
Double minor.
So I'm going to go with the top pick for the Blues right now, but I think I would also be looking at the Ducks, Steve.
Yeah, the Ducks.
That would be Anaheim.
Oof. Man, they might be the worst team for sure. Who is the worst team, Dave? Who do you think right now?
The worst team right now
would be so Chicago's your candidates. Anaheim, yep. So you're going to go with Anaheim. I got you. Yep. So Anaheim right now.
I think that's, you know, that's the best decision that we could probably make. So I'll switch that up. I'll go ahead and throw Anaheim in there, but I'm telling you, the St. Louis is a close second with the skidding that they're doing.
All right, so let's see what we got on the schedule on tap for Anaheim coming up this week. Let's see the opportunities we can take against them here. Let's see. Where are our Ducks at on the road? Okay, so they're at Toronto tomorrow night. That's going to be an ugly game for them. Let's be honest there. So they'll be at Montreal on Thursday night. So that's going to be a tough – anything on the road for Anaheim is going to be tough at this point. Only 3 games Friday, so back to the week schedule on Friday. The Ducks continue on the road on Saturday. They will be in Edmonton, a tough task at hand there. So, 3 tough games on the road. Montreal is the one game that maybe they can try to get a win at. But we I mean, don't count on it, right? I mean –
well, no, Steve, and I tell you, it might be an unpopular opinion because I myself at the beginning of the season, I said Montreal is going to be really bad. Right now, they're proving me a bit wrong. They're a game over 500, and I think that team is just a little bit, not much. I don't want to get crazy here. But they are a little bit better than their record says. I think they bring a very fast product to the table, which, you know, kind of will work out for you. But they also, at the same time, have a lot of young guys, which, you know, they need time to have that experience. So I'm not surprised that they are losing some games, but they're also winning. They have some skill, they have some speed. And I think they're just a little bit better than what their record says right now. So I think that even that is going to be a tough out for Anaheim.
The Blues, they are playing Nashville tonight. And like I said, that's a weird game. Nashville is a favorite. Man, I've watched Nashville play a bunch. Not a bunch, but enough to know that they're not that great on the ice. So the fact that they're actually a favorite at St. Louis should tell you something there. Thursday night, the Blues are at Edmonton. So that's going to be a tough matchup for them. And then they have a back-to-back on Friday night where they will be at Calgary. No game for the Blues on Saturday. And then Sunday, I don't think they have a game either. No, probably back at it next Monday night will be St. Louis. Yeah, they'll be in Vancouver next Monday night. But we'll get it. We'll talk about that game then. Okay, yeah. So tough opportunities on the road, really both for the Blues and the Ducks. So there you go. If you want to pick on some teams that are bad right now, we just laid it out for you. We just planned your week of gambling against them. If that's what you want to do, go for it. We say green light, full force ahead on that one. All right, we'll go ahead and take a break, and then we will come back and we will get into tonight's slate right after this. As soon as the commercials pop up.
Does your home have algae or stains on the siding? Is there grime built up on your deck or brick patio? Coastal Pressure Washing Services has a warranty of professional services. From pressure washing to window cleaning to deck and fence staining, as well as dryer vent cleaning You got it all. Call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net. Again, call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net.
Tired of your swimming pool's diatomaceous earth pool filter? The constant cleaning, green pool, cloudy water? I thought this was supposed to be clean. Trust your swimming pool's water quality with a custom sand filter install. A clean, easy solution for your swimming pool operations. Contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517. Do you want to advertise with Deep End Broadcasting? Send us an email at deepend757@yahoo.com. That's deepend757@yahoo.com.
Know your gambling limits. Don't ever bet what you can't cover. Wagering on sports is only fun when you do it the right way. Not every bet will win. When you get on a bad run, know it and avoid trouble. Know your gambling limits.
Control your alcohol. Don't fight. Don't drink and drive. Your one punch could kill someone. It happens. If you're behind the wheel, you may think you are fine, but then the other driver is under the influence of texting, and then you are done. Control your alcohol.
Family owned and operated, CP Shuckers Cafe and Raw Bar specializes in delicious cuisine, refreshing drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. We opened our doors in 1995 and have enjoyed being a place to either relax or celebrate ever since. Whether you are in the mood to indulge in a great meal with your friends and family or watch the game, we promise that our inventive menu, attentive service, and skilled bartenders will have you truly satisfied. Both of our locations have spacious outdoor patios for enjoying the breeze and catching a little sun. Our friendly staff at CP Shuckers will make your next dining experience a pleasant one by delivering personal care. We are open until 2 a.m. Full menu will be served until 10 p.m. and late night limited menu until 1 a.m. For larger parties, please give the location of choice a call. Pacific Avenue, 757-425-8676 or Shore Drive, 757-412-2929. More information at cpshuckers.com. Thank you for your continued support and have a shucking good time. Tired of your swimming pool's diatomaceous earth pool filter? The constant cleaning, green pool, cloudy water? I thought this was supposed to be clean. Trust your swimming pool's water quality with a custom sand filter install. A clean, easy solution for your swimming pool operations. Contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
Final 40 seconds of overtime. Mark has been out here for a long time. Normally he would have gone there. He could barely get back. He can't get off now. Star steal. It's Marchment with Lundqvist. Marchment to Lundqvist. Scores! Back-to-back overtime wins at home. Lundqvist the hero.
Larkin makes a curious decision in neutral ice to try to hang on. It's a miscommunication by the wings at center. Turns into a patient play by Mason Marchment, who made two marvelous plays to set up goal scorers today. Waits and then feeds across. The goaltender, Husso, allows this to go across the goal thread. Gets across, but opens up too much. And Lundqvist, who scored the tying goal the other night, gets the winner here today.
What the puck is going on?
All right, we're back. What the puck is going on? It is Monday night from the Deep End Broadcasting Studios in Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. 6:28 Eastern Standard Time, which means we have hockey in 32 minutes. So we would be wise to get right to it. So you guys have something to wager on tonight. All right, David, let's get to the list here. Let me cue up my new Let me get these fresh lines up here. Fresh lines. We all like the fresh lines. All right. First game on the list. We talked about Calgary. They haven't impressed anyone this year. Montreal, feisty at times for sure. We've had their back on different occasions. Montreal can score goals too. Even when they lose, they can actually put some goals in the net. But right now, the line is Calgary minus 220. The comeback for Montreal is plus 180. The over-under is 6. If we go back into the injury report here, we'll take a quick glance at it because I feel like we get a lot of Monday injuries. In fact, we got a couple players on a very healthy Calgary team where the only 2 players on the injured list go on there today. But that's a couple of defensemen in Kleinington and Uyghur. So they will be out tonight for Calgary. And then on the flip side here for Montreal, we'll scroll down to Montreal. They actually have a lot of players injured, 8 overall, and 4 of those are fresh bodies on the injury list. So Mike Matheson, Jonathan Drouin, Sean Monahan, and David Savard all will be out for a couple of days, all key injuries there for Montreal. So they will be shorthanded. They lost Brendan Gallagher just the other day and Paul Byron as well. Carey Price, the goalie, has been out since right about Thanksgiving. So Montreal has been seeing a rash of injuries. That's going to be the reason why Calgary is going to be such a declarative favorite tonight. Not that they probably wouldn't be anyway, to be honest, in this circumstance of things. But the Canadians are home. But lots of injuries, Dave. I don't know. What kind of angle are you going to take at this?
Yeah, so hearing that, Steve, that worries me a little bit, for doing anything with Montreal, because I was looking here and I was going to take them for over 0.5 goals in the first period. So just for 1 goal, which I think is still probably achievable. It's at minus 140. So while the value is not very heavy on that, I think it is a smarter play. But the thing is, Steve, as you go down that injury list, I'm like, yikes! Those are a lot of big names for that team.
Yeah, those are all names I know. So that tells you, that tells you how key those are.
Yeah, exactly. So that really worries me, and wants to change my outlook on this game. I think I'm going to go down to what I like to play is the race to X goals, and I think I'm going to go with the race to 4 for the Calgary Flames at plus 115. Just with those injuries for the Canadians, I think we got to do something here with Calgary, Steve, and just to get some plus money out of it. I really don't think it's asking too much for Calgary to put 4 up on the board.
I was looking at that same thing, Dave. I'll say this. This show has actually made me, we talked about it yesterday. Our NFL plays are basically terrible at this point. We might be close, but man, we're picking some duds for sure. But NHL wise, we are doing very well. And I got to thank this show for that, to be honest, at least on my end. I'm going to take a look at somewhat the same thing. I think I like Calgary to score over 3.5 goals at minus 108. So they don't have to get a race to 4 in case Montreal can put up that many goals. But with those kinds of injuries, I don't think they're going to be able to do that anyway. They're going to have to mix up their lines. They might not have that chemistry. This is really a spot where Calgary should be able to get the win. The 60-minute money line for Calgary is just minus 138 if you want to try to get Calgary to win in regulation. So that might be an angle to take as well. Maybe they win a low-scoring game. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit more, Dave. But I think of the 2 plays that I would look at, it's either going to be the Calgary money line to win in regulation at minus 138, and the over 3.5 would be my other option at minus 108. I think I said what that was. I think maybe it was 105, actually. So Jake Allen and Jacob Markstrom are the goalies between the pipes here for Calgary and Montreal tonight. Any other angle you may take a look at?
Yeah, so I'm looking at one right now, Steve, and I think I'm going to go ahead and start building something around this. I'm going to do a game parlay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Calgary Flames on the money line at over 5.5 for plus 140.
So basically 4-2 Calgary win gets you there. Okay, I could see that actually happening. You just need Montreal to get a couple goals at home. Shorthanded, again, is going to be the major question there. They're going to have enough on ice. Players like Nick Suzuki, he can certainly help contribute to the effort of putting goals into the back of the net for sure. Interesting game, though. Calgary, this is a good chance for them to get what I would say is a needed win at this stage of the season in the NHL, in the NHL, and especially in their division, right?
Indeed.
All right, so that's a 7:00 puck drop there in the Bell Center. In Madison Square Garden, we had this match 2 weeks ago. New Jersey and the Rangers. Right now, minus 110 on both sides of this. Over-under is at 6. I said last time that we had this game on, it sounds like a pretty good under scenario to me, and these teams flew over the over.
Yeah.
If you remember that correctly. So I'm not going to pick the under in this game. You can forget that all day long. If I was going to take this, I might take a look at the Ranger goals only because they did me right in a winning bet last week when they won at Colorado on that TNT game. But the Rangers, just to get over 2.5 goals tonight, is minus 150. I'm going to trust they're going to be able to do that against a New Jersey team who's still really hot, but might be starting to show just a little bit of chink in their armor. David, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, so I was thinking I was going to go with the Devils for over 2.5, which for me, I'm not getting, a great number. You're getting a better number than I am for sure. I'm getting minus 170.
Oh yeah, okay. So I got the Devils over 2.5 at minus 152.
Okay. I have both of them. Either way you slice it over here for me, over 2.5 is minus 170. So I'm not really super crazy about that. I don't mind playing a minus number at all. Which, I would say one of these teams is going to do that. So we could certainly play that. Or, we could go, with a tie, no bet. So if they tie, then it's no good. But we go Devils or the Rangers at minus 110 in that aspect there. One other thing I was looking at, maybe trying to play the 60-minute line. I think this is a game that certainly has possibilities of overtime.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Plus 320 for overtime for me over here if this ends in a tie for regulation. Yep. And that seems like something that can actually really happen in this game.
Yeah, I you know what, Steve? I think so too. And if you want to go 60-minute line, either team you're going to get, paid out pretty good, plus 135 for New Jersey, plus 150 for New York. So I'd say I want to play New Jersey, but again, this is a divisional game. So anything could happen. So I would absolutely take a look at the possibility of overtime. But something is telling me to play one of these teams on the 60-minute line.
So this is going to be a good lesson for the viewers and listeners out there. They're going to try to trick you a little bit on these sports books, okay? Be aware of that. Where on the 60-minute money line, you have the three options. It's basically the three-way. You can bet New Jersey, which is plus 140. You can bet the Rangers, which is plus 144. That's to win in regulation. Or bet the tie, which means the game goes to overtime, right? So plus 320 on that. But if I scroll down even on the same page, not too far away at the bottom here, there's a prop. Will there be overtime? Yes or no? And the yes is plus 310, and the no is minus 460. So will there be overtime? Yes is just plus 310, where the same bet, the tie in the 60-minute regulation, which essentially just means you go to overtime, is plus 320. So always be aware that the same bet might be just printed out differently and kind of said differently, but the lines may not be the same either. They may be different, and you may be able to get a better bargain if you kind of hunt the better line down, which in this case is the 60-minute money line, the tie, plus 320, which means they just go to overtime. So why would you take the overtime prop when you could bet this, even the plus 010 number? You know, it's not the biggest difference in the world, but over time, if you look for these better numbers, that difference does add up significantly. It's almost like putting change in your penny jar, and as it, you know, might start with one or two coins at the bottom. If you keep throwing some coins in, next thing you know, the jar is half full, and that's the same way with these betting props. That money is going to be show up, maybe not necessarily right in your mind's eye first thing, but at the end of the day, in the accounting, sure enough, it's going to be there, the difference in that pricing. So always be aware of that. So we both might like to draw or to tie here, Dave, in regulation. Let's go ahead and take a look at the injury report for this game. Let's make sure we get all our ducks in a row. We don't ever want to overlook these injuries, especially from what we see with the Montreal game here tonight. Let's see. If we go down to New Jersey, they have just one player put on the injured list today. That's Jonathan Bernier, but that's a key injury for them.
It is.
Yeah, and they lost Nathan Bastian last Friday, so a key injury for them. And Andre Palat, he continues to be out for New Jersey, but he's been out for some time now, and he won't return until after the new year. For the Rangers, they report 0 injuries on their side. So they are fully healthy, which is a good thing if you're a hockey team here in the grinding part of the December, where we're not even quite halfway through the season yet, with lots and lots of hockey to go. So Rangers fully healthy. Devils, 1 or 2 key injuries there. Anything else you're going to look at in this game, Dave?
Yeah, Steve, I'm actually going to go ahead and take it right now. I'm going to go Artemi Panarin over 2.5 shots on goal at plus 100. We all know that, you know, when he does shoot, he has a wicked shot. So I feel pretty comfortable of, 3 shots on goal the whole game at even money there. I'm really enticed on that. That draws me in. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fire away on that. That is Artemi Panarin over 2.5 shots on goal at plus 100.
Okay. Good game here in Pittsburgh at the Igloo. The Penguins will host the Dallas Stars, minus 130 for the Pens, plus 110 for the Stars. Over under is 6.5 goals. And let's see what else we got. 7 o'clock is the puck time. Good game here. This is tough. This is a tough one. Both teams have been really hot. Both teams are playing very good hockey. I mean,
yeah, this is a really tough game here, Steve.
Well, I think the over is probably the best bet. You can expect these teams to be able to score goals, and they can do it on each other. But, you're talking about conflicting styles as well. You got the Dallas, who's kind of the drag you down team, will maybe try to out-physical you against I don't know. I don't even know if I want to call the Penguins a finesse game. They always want to be considered almost like a finesse team, the Penguins, but even they are playing really good on defense, and they're adding some physicality to their game as well. How do you see this, Dave?
So, yeah, this is a tough one, Steve, because, you know, the over does draw you in, being that we know the Penguins can score goals. It's something they do really well, something they've done really well for quite a while, you know, definitely in the last few seasons for sure. Dallas, you know, they come out of the Central and they play, you know, a Western style of, you know, let's ground you down, let's get you into the third period fatigue, and then take advantage of you. So it's, you know, like we said, they're kind of conflicting styles, which makes this game really tough to read, Steve. So I'm trying to find, you know, something that I like, and I hate to say it, but my first thought here, something just tells me, you know, take Pittsburgh on the 60-minute line at plus 125 because they are at home. And they have, you know, they had a little bit of a rough start, but since, you know, they're showing who they are and who they've been within the last couple years for sure, even more so than a couple years. You know, we know who the Penguins are. They're generally always a tough team, a good team at that. They can score. So, while I hate to say it, you know, it would be much more beneficial to us if they lost. Something, Steve, is just telling me go with the Penguins on the 60-minute line.
If I'm looking at the team goals for this, Dallas is over 2.5 at minus 144. Pittsburgh is over 3.5 goals at plus 132. Would you take any of those?
Yeah, I think I might take. Yeah, I could see that happening.
I could see them both happening, to be honest. But
yeah.
This is a tough game, but you know what? Like I said, if you want to watch a good hockey game, this is one to tune into. Coming up here in about 15 minutes, Dallas and Pittsburgh. Okay, any other angles before we go to the next one? I'll make sure we squeeze these in before 7.
No, Steve, I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot with the Penguins as much as that pains me.
Okay, and this line has just dropped off the board for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. But the Ducks and the Senators will take the ice tonight at 7:30 in Ottawa. We talked about throwing the Ducks in the penalty box. Right now, my money line is off the board and locked out. But I do have a puck line available, minus 1.5 for the Sens, plus 112. Over under is 6.5 in this game. Let's see if they give me a 60-minute money line. They do. So the 60-minute money line for this is plus 280 for the Ducks, minus 148 for Ottawa. Ottawa's a heavy favorite. Plus 360 is for the draw to go into overtime. Dave, man, I mean, the Senators, they're not a good team themselves. Ottawa, let's see. Let me get a good review on them. They are the last place team in their division, although they are 11, 14-2. They are 5-4-1. In their last 10, they're 6-8 at home. They do have a minus 6 goal differential due to the Ottawa Senators. But Anaheim, look at this. Anaheim has a minus 50 goal differential. That is insane. To put that into perspective, the next closest team to that is Columbus has minus 31 goal differential. There's one other one I saw. There you go. Chicago has a minus 32 goal differential. But how about that? Anaheim all the way down with a minus 50 goal differential. Is that bad enough to make you take the Sens, another bad team at home?
Yeah, I think you definitely could. The way I see this one, Steve, you know, I say it every week, and I'm going to continue to say it. I hate the 6.5 overs. I do not like them. I don't like to play them. You know, 7 goals can be a lot in some games, but I tell you what, in this one, at the rate the Ducks let them in, they showed that they can score a couple themselves, but at the rate they're letting pucks behind them, Steve, I think at minus 110, you just have to give the over a shot here. This could be a 4-3, 5-3 type of game, and either of those get you home. So I think this is an over game. You're probably going to see quite a few goals between two not so good teams.
How about Anaheim? They are over 2.5 team goals at minus 108.
That's not bad.
I don't think so, only because of the competition that they're playing themselves, to be honest. Let's see here. As far as the injuries go, real quick, back to the Pittsburgh-Dallas injuries. I mean, we have nothing as far as that is concerned.
Right.
Dallas is fully healthy in Pittsburgh, just a lone injury for them. So no injuries to report in that game. Want to make sure we always get that. Anaheim, on the other hand, they're going to put a couple players on the injured list today. I will tell you who they are, but you've never heard of them, so it doesn't matter. Jonathan Gibson. It is the goalie that everyone does know, but Gibson, he's not going to be between the pipes tonight. He's out because he is sick. So Anaheim's going to be shorthanded between the net as well. If we go to Ottawa real quick, the Senators, they lost 3 players today. So they lost Cam Talbot, too. People have heard of him. Josh Norris and Alex DeBrincat will be out as well. A few other players have been on the injured list for Ottawa. So they're going to be kind of banged up.
Big injuries for Ottawa.
Yeah. I would say that I think your overplay sounds pretty decent, especially if Gibson, who hasn't been the best anyway, is going to be between the pipes, or not between the pipes in this game. And if we go to, you know what? They don't even have the listed goalies right now. So I guess that's why this game's off the board. Maybe they haven't even announced that yet. This game is at 7:30, so they do have a little bit of time to get that in, and we'll see if we can get a lineup maybe before we get off the show. So Senators and Ducks, 2 bad teams playing each other in Ottawa tonight. All right, here we go. This is the weird game to me. Nashville is a favorite on the road at St. Louis. This is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Puck drop. Over/under is 6. St. Louis Blues. Let's go right to the injuries on this one. I'm going to be closer to Nashville first. Nashville, they go ahead and put 2 players on the injured list today. Alexander Carrier and Jeremy Lauzon is going to be out. Michael McCarron is also out as well. So a couple banged up players here for Nashville. St. Louis, the Blues are going to come in this game. They're going to miss a couple players as well. Logan Brown will be out, and Pavel Bushnevich will be out. As well. We should have Hockey Spelling Bee one of these shows, Dave.
Bushnevich is his name.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So that a fun clip maybe down the road. Hockey Spelling Bee when we have nothing else better to do. Maybe All-Star weekends. We'll do that.
There you go.
But let's see here. Again, in the standings, we talked about the Blues. Dave wants to put them in the penalty box. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10, and there's Nashville 6-3-1 in their last 10, but they have lost 2 in a row. I don't know, Dave. This is a tough game for me. I'm not sure we're even going to get a lot of goals in this game. This might be the one underplay for the evening, to be honest. Maybe that's what I might take a look at. Chances are this is going to be a no play for me at the end of the day. What do you think?
You know what? I actually like that play of your underplay there, Steve. It's at even money at plus 100. I might go ahead and take a shot at it.
If you want to go under 5.5, it's plus 120. You always want to have that extra goal for the push. I don't think that's I don't know why you would change from 6 to 5.5 just for a plus,
right.
2 difference, right? So could you see this going to overtime? I could.
I think it's possible.
We can have a lot of overtime tonight. I mean, the Rangers game could be overtime. The Dallas-Pittsburgh game could be an overtime game. If you want overtime in this one, that is plus 320 as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a shot at the under, but two teams like this, certainly overtime is possible.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing. If they get to 3-3, then that's going to blow up your over/under. That's the one scary thing about that. The Nashville total goals for the game. If you like Nashville under 2.5 goals, that's plus 132. If you like St. Louis under 2.5 goals, that's plus 120. They're both heavily juiced. If you want them over 2.5 goals, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, Dave, maybe that's just the best play. It's just under 6 in this game. And if maybe I do some extensive parlay where I need to throw in the old quote unquote dancing partner, we'll go ahead and throw in under 6 on this limited menu of hockey. Any other angle you may look at?
I have to take a look to kind of see what I can find in a little bit deeper of a dive here. The Blues at home plus 100 even money on the money line. I tell you though, I kind of like Nashville in this game. I think they have a little bit of the edge right now. They're minus 1.5 on the puck line. That's plus 215. I don't think you play any kind of spread in this game though, because I believe it could be, tighter than most people think. So as far as anything else, you could look at Nashville on the 60-minute line, which is plus 135. So that's paying out not bad. That would probably be something else I would consider. But as far as that, we're going to stick with the under here.
All right, and the last game on deck is a good one as well. Edmonton is at Minnesota. We talked about both teams are starting to turn the page on their season, which means turn it for the better, because they both were both off to somewhat slumpy starts, we'll say. Well, lethargic maybe was a better word for that, but both of them seem to be playing well. The Wild are minus 130 money line favorites at home, and Edmonton is plus 110. The over-under in this game is at 6.5. If you want to look at team goals, you can always look for Edmonton to hey, I like this number. Edmonton over 3.5 goals is plus 138. I could get on board with that. Minnesota over 3.5 goals is plus 108. I don't know if I've watched enough Minnesota yet to kind of get any kind of trust in them. I haven't actually played any Minnesota games. I have played Edmonton games because they're an easy team to watch, fun team to watch with Draisaitl and McDavid. We talked about those guys. But, Dave, I think at over 3.5 goals at plus 138, I think that might be a play I get involved with the Oilers. And if you like the Oilers on the 60-minute line, plus 164 is a nice price for Edmonton on the road tonight, not to go to overtime and to win that game in regulation. What angle, Dave, might you take a look at?
So on this one, Steve, you said you haven't followed a lot of Minnesota hockey, which I don't blame you. They started off kind of rough, and we thought that they were going to be better than that. At least I did for sure. I thought they might be a contender coming out of the Central. But since they picked it up and they look like they're trying to be that team, and they were the last leg of a parlay that I had just a couple of weeks ago, and it got home for me. So I'm going to go ahead and ride them again. This is going to be another good game. So expect probably some tightness out of this one, but I think, like I said, I'm going to ride Minnesota. They did me right the other day, but this time I'm going to take them on the 60-minute line, whereas last time I had them on the money line straight up. So I'm going to put a little bit more trust in them, which is saying something, playing a Oilers team that can certainly light it up when they want to. But the thing that concerns me about Edmonton is it's really only two guys scoring for them right now. McDavid and Draisaitl, I believe when I last checked, it was, Steve, they have almost 50% of the Edmonton goals. I think it was somewhere in the 40s, somewhere in the 40% range, 40 to 50. And I tell you what, while that's great for them too, that is not conducive to a winning recipe in the NHL. You need all four lines rolling. You need all your guys going. So when it's just two getting most of your goals, that really worries me. And for that reason, with the Minnesota Wild being at home, I'm going to take plus 125 for their 60-minute line.
Okay. This is how about this, Dave? Could we have all these games going to overtime tonight?
You know what, Steve? There is certainly a possibility of quite a bit of overtime.
I'm literally punching into my phone right now. A 4-team round robin of 60-minute ties, which means overtime, between Rangers, Devils, Stars, Penguins, Predators, Blues, and Oilers, Wild. Is there any way that could happen?
You know, Steve, it would. It wouldn't shock me if it did. There's a lot of games, except for that Ottawa game, that, you know, these teams are pretty close to each other as far as the numbers, you know, the standings go, the points go. So I think if there was a night for it, this would probably be a good one to take a shot at it. That's for sure.
All right, man. Okay. So good games tonight, full slate. The puck is dropping right now. So let's go ahead and get to the futures. You guys can go ahead and punch your bets in. Go ahead and get to the futures market real quick here. Let me get back to the main NHL page. And let's see. We'll start with the odds to win the Stanley Cup. We'll update that fully here. Avalanche are plus 550. They're your favorite still. Not even first place, not even second place in their division, but they are your Stanley Cup favorites as we speak. Lots of injuries for Colorado, plus 550. Boston is plus 650. There are the Maple Leafs at plus 900. The Knights are at plus 900. The Devils 10-1. Hurricanes 11-1. Lightning 15-1. Calgary and Dallas 18-1. Edmonton is at 20-1. There's Pittsburgh at 22-1. Florida is at 20-1. And then we're starting to spread out with teams like the Rangers. Winnipeg is 35-1, a nice number for the Jets. Still, if you think they can win the playoffs or win the Stanley Cup, how about that? Winnipeg plus 3,500 to win the Stanley Cup, tied with Dallas plus 1,800 to win the Stanley Cup, and Winnipeg's ahead of them by percentage points. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
There's our Capitals at 75-1. Hey, man, if you like the Capitals and they're starting to surge a little bit, you're getting a great price on the Caps right now. All they got to do is make the playoffs, and anyone can make that run. We've seen plenty of 8 seeds before win. So the Caps at 75-1 is the best value on the board for me right now, to tell you the truth. But they're your Red Wings, too, at 100-1, still to win the Cup, and they're the Kraken at 50-1. Those are the ones worth mentioning. Anything down the board there that you like?
You know, I like well, I want to touch on the Capitals just real quick.
Yeah, go for
it. It's worth noting, if you like that number, they are going to have guys, you know, key guys
coming back
soon.
Yeah.
These guys, you know, I follow, you know, most everything Caps. These guys are skating in practice. Some are in non-contact jerseys, some are not. You know, maybe not quite ready yet, but, you know, here soon they are going to start getting some guys back. And if they're rolling like this and they can continue until they can get just a couple of these names back, you know, they could be a sneaky call for that. That's for sure. they're making a push. And if these guys come back and everything gels, like we would like it to, I don't see why, it's certainly not impossible once this team gets back fully healthy and starts rolling again. So for sure, Steve, that's a good number there. I tell you, I don't know. I'd have to wait just a little bit longer. Maybe take a shot at the Stars. That might be all right. And maybe the Kraken, see what they do, plus 4,500. Not extremely convinced by them yet, but they are growing on me, and I'm starting to like them more and more, so we'll see what happens there.
If you like big numbers too, to win the Eastern Conference, Capitals plus 3,400, which is the best number we've seen. When I mean the best number, I mean the best number to get paid out on. This is actually their worst number. They might have been a little bit worse last week. I can't recall. They're still basically pretty much down there. 34-1 odds for the Capitals to win the East. The Red Wings are plus 6,500 to win the East. And then everyone above them, like the Penguins at 10-1, Florida at 10-1. You might as well just wait till the beginning of the playoffs because you're going to get about the same number anyway. And there's no sense doing those kind of bets now because who knows who gets hurt in the meantime. Capitals, on the other hand, is like what you said. They're going to get players back. So if you want a big number on the Caps, just to win the East, 34-1 is a real nice number there too.
Indeed.
All right, to win the West, same discrepancy here with Dallas and Winnipeg. Winnipeg 16-1 odds to win the West. Remember, they're on top of the Central now, percentage points ahead of Dallas. Dallas is plus 800. Colorado, the short shot, at plus 250. Edmonton is at plus 850. There are your Kraken at 20-1 odds. Nashville is creeping up a little bit better at 32-1 odds. Kings 16-1. St. Louis dropping off at 28-1. Calgary overrated, I think, at plus 750. And Minnesota, that actually might be a good number if you like Minnesota, Dave, plus 1,300 for them to win the West. Anything stick out there?
Not super crazy right now. Maybe Dallas. I really do like Dallas right now at the moment, especially this year. And I've got them plus 800, which isn't crazy. But for that number, I think it's certainly achievable. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on Dallas down the road here, Steve, quite a bit to see what I can squeeze out of them.
If you think the Capitals can actually come back and win this Eastern Conference and you want to pair them up with another team, $10 on a 2-game parlay for teams to win their conference, Capitals and Jets. $10 wins 5,940 right now. If you do Capitals and Stars, $10 wins 3,140. Capitals and Oilers a little bit better at $3,300 off $10 on that wager. And a Capitals Wild parlay is just a little short of $5,000 if you want the Capitals and Wild to go ahead and meet in the Stanley Cup final. Hey, Capitals and Avalanche. $10 will get you just $1,200 there. And, maybe we see the rematch of a few years ago, Vegas and Washington, plus 1,565. So $10 wins you just about $1,600 if you think the Knights and Capitals can get there. And the only reason why we're throwing the Capitals in again, people, is because just the big number that they're getting right now. There's no other real value at this point with the teams below them. You'll get just about as good odds when the playoffs start. So there's no sense into getting into anything there with teams like the Pens, Hurricanes, Lightning, even the Devils at this point. You almost want them to get worse if you like the Devils, because a plus 550, that's still a big number to try to climb. And I bet you, Dave, I'll say this now here on December the 12th, I bet you that the Devils will be a lot worse than plus 550 to win the East when the playoffs start.
Oh, I'd absolutely have to agree with you.
Okay. All right. Anything else before we go ahead and get on out of here?
No, I don't think so. do we want to go through our picks real quick?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead. What are you going to go ahead and lock in for tonight?
All right, so I'm locking in right now. We're going to go Flames paired with the over 5.5 in that game. Artemi Panarin over 2.5 shots on goal tonight. The Penguins on the money line. That's the 60-minute line. We have them versus Stars. And then over 6.5 in the Ducks-Senators game. And then we're going to go, I don't know, I guess you could call it rather light tonight. We got one more here. This is just a 3-pick. We're going under 6 in the Nashville-St. Louis game. Then I'm going to take the Wild on the 60-minute line. And then I reverse course here, so one of these has to lose. The Dallas Stars on the money line.
All right. I have a round robin locked into place. I'm just going to have a fun little tiny bet here. I didn't put, but $5 on each leg here, so nothing crazy. But
right.
I'm going to take I'm going to take 4 games to go to overtime. I'm going to take New Jersey and the Rangers, Dallas and Pittsburgh, Nashville and St. Louis, and Edmonton and Minnesota, all games to get to overtime tonight. I basically need just 3 of the 4 to hit, and now that should pay off. Something halfway decent anyway. I think a $5 play there wins you something like $300. If just 3 of the 4 can come in. We do have a goal already. Dallas is on top of Pittsburgh 1-0. So that game already off to a hot start there for the Stars as they are in Pittsburgh tonight. Okay. Good luck on your tickets, Dave. Good luck to everyone out there. This is What the Puck is Going On. Remember, the Friday soccer paycheck is on a World Cup break. That will return a week from Friday. We'll do a Christmas Eve show, as there will be APL soccer on Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas. So lots of EPL the day after Christmas. So a full sports weekend, even after the Christmas Sunday ends, you'll get a full Monday of EPL soccer you could wake up to, which will be fun. Maybe we'll even do an early morning show. I'll have to think about that, actually. Maybe we'll announce that this week on the Round Robin. Remember, a special Christmas edition of the Round Robin. Our Christmas party coming up this Sunday, 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at CP Shuckers, the Shore Drive location in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So everyone is welcome to come to that. We'll have food, refreshments. Nephew Dave and I broadcasting live for 3 hours. And we'll need you people there, because we won't have Dave Del Grande with us. We're going to do a special edition this Saturday of the Round Robin. Since we have 3 NFL games on Saturday, Dave Del Grande will come on with us for about an hour live Saturday morning, and we'll discuss the games with him. If we can wrestle Nephew Dave away for the first segment as well, we'll go ahead and do that too. So Round Robin special Saturday, 11 a.m. from the studio. Sunday from CP Shuckers, our Christmas party, 8:30 in the morning until 11:30. And then What the Puck is Going On. We'll be back on next Monday. The big wigs at the network are trying to wrestle the show to another time slot, but the talent is not having it here. So we're gonna keep it the way it is for now, and we'll hope for the best. All right, Monday Night Football tonight with the Pats in Arizona as well. So have fun with that. We'll go ahead and get out of here, and good luck, everyone.